Hello, you are watching India Today Global. I am Pranay Upadhyay. All eyes are there in Alaska because a mega meeting is scheduled to take place between Russian President Vladimir Putin and US President Donald Trump in Alaska. What is the significance of this meeting and what could be the probable outcome of this mega meet? To understand the nuances of this meeting, I am being joined by Ambassador Anil Trigunayat. Sir, welcome to India Today Global.
Thank you, Pranay.
My first question to you would be, Russian president would be on US soil after a decade. What is there, what we should expect from this mega meeting? Is it going to be a watershed moment? Is it going to change the dynamics of geopolitics?
Well, I don't know about the geopolitics per se, but definitely between the relations between Moscow and Washington, there is very likely to be a better opening, bigger opening than it has been in the past. And those are the indications. Of course, a lot will depend on how the Russia-Ukraine war eventually is sorted out, whether President Putin agrees to some kind of a ceasefire or pause in the war till the territorial issues are discussed. But I'm quite sure that the Witkoff plan, which was acceptable to Trump, to Putin, I believe is the beginning, because otherwise President Putin would not have come to US or Alaska for that matter, which is very significant, as you mentioned. So I think that there will be several things. One is that there are key issues between the two countries to resort, which they are trying to do, and have a somewhat normalized relations. You remember Marco Rubio just a few days ago had said that Washington has a lot of opportunities in Russia with good relations. So they are also looking at themselves. At the same time, with the territorial issues, President Putin seemed to have at present a very strong views about keeping all what he has gained so far. Now that will probably be a red line as far as Ukraine is concerned and many of the European countries.
So before
but we'll have to see how it plays out.
So before I ask you about Ukraine, but what is the significance of Alaska? Why Alaska?
Well, you know, Alaska was basically a Soviet or a Russian territory which was sold to United States. And also in the context of the Arctic and, you know, otherwise it's one of the most oil-rich places which United States still has, which has not been explored. So it is a place, plus they have some kind of a joint base also. So I believe that this is an area where you can say that some interests converge for both the sides.
So how we should understand that on ground, the offensive is still on. Both Russia and Ukraine are engaging into this conflict on ground. On the other side, the Russian president would be traveling. A ceasefire plan is being talked about. So should we expect a tangible outcome of this visit and or this meeting?
Well, I mean, President Trump himself has changed his position several times from a listening brief to he has moved on to up to 75% chances of success. And so which shows that there is going to be some kind of hope. And if Putin has come all the way for this, so I think that he'll also like to give President Trump some kind of, leeway to project himself. Otherwise, it'll be a complete washout, which will not be good either for Putin or for Trump. So I'm quite sure that they're going to get something out of it, at least a promise of the next meeting where they're thinking of having some kind of a trilateral. Or Putin has always been saying that he doesn't want the war, but he has his own red lines, like the NATO guarantees and all, or NATO joining.
Since you mentioned about NATO, Ambassador Trigunayat, while traveling to Alaska on board Air Force One, President Donald Trump said that security guarantee or security assurances for Ukraine does not include inclusion into NATO. There are certain things which cannot happen. How Ukraine should read this statement of President Trump?
You know, ironically, Pranay, if you were to think that within 2 months of this war, when nothing much was lost by Ukraine, both sides had agreed that Ukraine will not join NATO, and the Russia was ready for Ukraine to be a part of the European Union. Now that has gone. Now 3 years later, we are virtually at the same place. So President Trump understands that this is the biggest red line that the Russians have. and that he has clearly said that there will be nothing. But at the same time, I understand that what the Europeans and European leaders and President Trump had a meeting, they had discussed that there will be some kind of a guarantee that will be provided.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Trigunayat, for your time and sharing this
Thank you.
perspective. And we will connect again with you after
Thank
the joint presser by President Trump and Putin. Thank you very much, sir.